बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम अस्सलाम वालेकुम। तो आज की इस वीडियो में हम ये माया से बात करने वाले हैं जो कि सीजीएम वेबसाइट की तरफ से हैं। तो चलिए बगैर टाइम जाए कि वीडियो को शुरू करते हैं।
Hey, what's new?
यस, हेलो, हाउ आर यू?
I'm doing great. How about you? What's on your mind today?
Okay, so today I'm gonna ask you some questions on the topic food from basic need to cultural icon.
I'm intrigued. That sounds like a fascinating arc. What's the first thing you want to dive into?
First question is that why is food essential for human survival?
Um, at its most basic, it's all about fuel. Your body is, basically a high maintenance machine that needs a constant supply of energy to keep your heart beating and your brain firing. Without the nutrients from food, everything just starts to shut down. Do you want to get into the biological side of it, or are we moving toward the cultural part of the topic?
Okay, so the next question is that how does food provide energy to the body?
It's kind of like a chemical breakdown process. Your digestive system breaks down the food you eat into smaller molecules, like glucose, which is a simple sugar. That glucose then enters your bloodstream and travels to your cells, where it's converted into ATP, which is basically the biological currency your body uses to get things done. It's a pretty wild sequence of events just to get you moving in the morning. Do you want to know more about how that works, or should we move on?
Okay, so another question is that what are the main nutrients found in food?
You've got a few different players in the game. First, you have macronutrients, the big stuff like carbohydrates for energy, proteins for building and repairing tissue, and fats for long term storage and brain health. Then you have micronutrients, which are the vitamins and minerals that act like the fine tuning for your body systems. Most people just think of calories, but it's really about the balance of all those pieces. Should we talk about what happens if you're missing one of these, or do you have another question?
Okay, so another question is that why is a balanced diet important?
Think of it like a team effort. If you only focus on one nutrient, like just eating carbs for energy, you might feel a quick burst of power, but your muscles won't repair themselves and your immune system will start to lag. A balanced diet ensures that every system in your body has exactly what it needs to function at its peak without crashing. It's basically the difference between just surviving and actually thriving. Do you think most people actually manage to get that balance right?
Okay, so another question is that how has food evolved throughout human history?
It's been a wild ride from foraging to fast food. Early on, humans were basically following the seasons, eating whatever they could gather or hunt. Then came the agricultural revolution, which was the real game changer. We stopped chasing our food and started growing it, which let us build cities and actual civilizations. From there, we went through the industrial era with canning and refrigeration. And now we're in this era of globalized food where you can get sushi in the middle of a desert. It's a massive shift from just eating to survive to eating for pleasure and convenience. Do you want to know about a specific era, or are you curious about how these changes affected our health?
Okay, so another question is that what role does food play in different cultures?
It's so much more than just sustenance. Food is basically a universal language. It's how people express love, celebrate milestones, and keep their history alive. In some cultures, the act of sharing a meal is a sacred bond or a way to welcome a stranger into the fold, while in others, specific ingredients are tied to religious rituals or national identity.
Okay,
It's
so
often the first thing. Wait, what do you mean they're not allowed?
the next question is that how does geography influence traditional foods?
It's basically the ultimate architect of a menu. Think about it. If you live on a coast, you're going to have a lot of seafood. If you're in the mountains, you're looking at root vegetables and hearty grains. The soil, the climate, and what animals actually live nearby dictate everything from the ingredients people use to how they preserve things, like salting meat in hot climates or fermenting in colder ones. It's why traditional foods feel so rooted in the land they come from. Does that make sense, or do you want an example of a specific region?
Okay, so the next question is that what makes a dish a cultural icon?
It's usually when a dish stops being just a recipe and starts representing a whole identity. It happens when a food becomes shorthand for a place or people. It's not just about the taste, it's the shared memory, the history, and the way it makes people feel connected to their roots. When you think of a croissant, you're not just thinking of buttery pastry, you're thinking of France. It's that emotional weight that turns a meal into an icon. Do you have a favorite dish that feels like a cultural icon to you?
Okay, so the next question is that how does food bring families together?
It creates a shared rhythm. There's something about the act of preparing a meal and sitting around a table that forces a pause in the day. It's one of the few times where everyone actually puts their phones down and engages in the same experience at the same time. Whether it's a chaotic holiday dinner or just a Tuesday night, that shared space becomes a place for storytelling, venting, and just checking in with each other. It's like the food is the anchor that keeps everyone in the room. Do you have a specific family tradition involving food that you love?
Okay, so the next question is that what is the connection between food and celebrations?
They're basically inseparable. Food is like the exclamation point of a celebration. It marks the occasion as special and different from a normal day. Whether it's a birthday cake, a holiday feast, or a wedding banquet, certain foods act as signals that it's time to celebrate. It creates a sensory memory. Whenever you smell that specific dish later, you're instantly transported back to that moment of joy. Do you think the food is the best part of a celebration, or is it more about the people?
So the next question is that why do some cultures have special holiday meals?
And it's a way of anchoring the tradition. By having a specific meal that only happens once a year, it creates a psychological boundary between the everyday and the extraordinary. It's not just about the taste, but the anticipation and the ritual of preparing it, which reinforces a sense of belonging and shared history. It's like a culinary time machine that connects people to their ancestors. Do you have a holiday meal that you look forward to the most?
Why do some cultures? What is street food and why is it popular?
I mean, street food is basically the heart of a city's food scene. It's those quick, accessible meals sold by vendors in public spaces, from food trucks in New York to night markets in Bangkok. It's popular because it's democratic, it's usually affordable, fast, and offers an authentic taste of the local culture without the formality of a restaurant. Plus, there's something about eating while standing on a busy sidewalk that just makes the food taste better. Do you prefer the fancy dining experience or the chaos of a street market?
How has globalization changed the way we eat?
Ugh. Oh, it's basically turned the world into one big potluck. We've moved from eating what's available locally to having access to ingredients from every continent in a single grocery store. And it's amazing because we get to experience other cultures through their flavors, but the trade-off is that some traditional local ways of eating are getting pushed aside by global chains and processed foods. It's made our palates more adventurous, but our food systems a lot more complex. Do you think we've gained more than we've lost with that trade?
So the next question is that what are fusion foods? Fusion foods.
It's basically a culinary mashup. Fusion food is when you take the flavors, techniques, or ingredients from two or more different cultures and blend them into one dish. Like Tex Mex or Korean tacos, it's all about finding the common ground between different traditions to create something entirely new. It usually happens when different groups of people live side by side and start experimenting with what's in their kitchens. Does that sound like something you'd enjoy, or do you prefer things more traditional?
Okay, so the next question is that how has technology changed food production?
Hmm. It's completely rewritten the rule book. We've gone from basic plows to things like vertical farming and gene editing. Technology has allowed us to grow food in places it never could before and produce way more of it to keep up with the population. But it's also introduced things like industrial processing and lab grown meats, which is a far cry from how your ancestors did things. It's basically a trade off between efficiency and that raw, natural connection to the earth. Do you think we've gone too far with the tech, or is it the only way to feed the world?
Okay, so the next question I just want to ask you is that what is organic food?
It's basically food produced without the shortcuts. Organic means it's grown without synthetic pesticides, herbicides, or genetically modified organisms. It's more about working with nature than trying to force it into submission with chemicals. People usually go for it because they want something cleaner or they're trying to support farming practices that are kinder to the soil. Do you usually look for the organic label when you're shopping, or do you think it's mostly marketing?
Okay, so the next question is that why is healthy eating becoming more important?
I think we're finally waking up to the connection between what's on our plate and how we actually feel. With the rise of processed foods and the hustle of modern life, a lot of people are realizing that you can't just run on autopilot and expect your body to keep up. We're seeing more focus on preventing long term health issues and just generally wanting more energy and mental clarity. It's shifted from being a niche health nut thing to a survival strategy for the modern world. Do you feel like you're more mindful about what you eat, or is it more of a struggle to keep it healthy?
What are processed foods?
Processed foods are basically anything that's been altered from its natural state for the sake of convenience, shelf life, or taste. It ranges from simple things like frozen peas or canned tuna to ultra processed stuff like soda, chips, and boxed meals that are packed with additives and preservatives to keep them from spoiling. They're designed to be easy and addictive, but they usually strip away the nutrients your body actually needs. Do you think these kinds of foods have completely taken over our diets, or do you still see a lot of people sticking to whole foods?
How can unhealthy eating affect health?
It's essentially like putting the wrong kind of fuel in a high end car. Over time, it creates a domino effect. Too much processed sugar and unhealthy fats can lead to things like heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and high blood pressure. But it's not just the physical stuff. Unhealthy eating can seriously mess with your mood and mental clarity, leaving you feeling sluggish or foggy. Your body is just reflecting the quality of what you give it. Do you think the physical effects are more motivating for people to change or the mental ones?
Okay, so the next question is that what is the importance of fresh fruits and vegetables?
They're basically the multivitamins of the natural world. Fruits and vegetables are packed with the essential vitamins, minerals, and the antioxidants that your body can't make on its own. They keep your skin glowing, your immune system strong, and your digestion running smoothly because of all that fiber. Without them, you're missing the fine tuning that keeps everything from breaking down. Do you have a favorite fruit or vegetable, or are you more of a only if it's hidden in the meal kind of person?
Okay, so the one last and final question I just want to ask you is that how has food become a symbol of culture, identity, and community?
It's the ultimate storyteller. Food becomes a symbol because it carries the history and the values of a people in every bite. When a community shares a specific dish, they're not just sharing calories, they're sharing their ancestors' struggles, their geography, and their triumphs. It's an identity marker. Eating a certain way tells the world where you come from and what you value. That's why food is often the strongest link people have to their heritage. even if they've lived far away from home for years. It's the one thing that can make a stranger feel like family the moment they sit down at the table.